Ladies and gentlemen, recently there was a protest in Mali by the politicians that they want to be back in office. They want to be back in their job. It's been a while. They did what they know how to do best. They want to be back governing the people of Mali. And according to the information, they said the Malian people told them to what? Stand down. So, ladies and gentlemen, what does this politician know how to do best? Is it development or embezzlement? It's a big question for another day, and it's not a topic for today. But this is happening after the French government lost their third military base in Senegal, and it's now looking as if there is a capitulation of France all over the place. But the question is, why is France building military bases all over the place? Okay, that's a question for another day. Let's take it back to this protest in Mali. According to information we're hearing from some unverified sources, that the protest was sponsored by France. Now, there is a synergy between what we heard that the protest was sponsored by France because we couldn't verify it because the news is not on the mainstream media. So, we couldn't verify to a large extent. So we kept the information inside. The protest has happened for a while. But recently, there was another protest in France.
Nous condamnons les arrestations arbitraires et les enlèvements. Nous condamnons la brimade. Nous condamnons la présence de Wagner sur nos territoires. Nous condamnons les assassinats ciblés, ethniques dans nos trois espaces.
Nous demandons aujourd'hui à la population, à toute la population de la CEDEAO, de dénoncer la présence de ces militaires, de ces paramilitaires russes qui ne font que massacrer les populations et de demander un retour à l'ordre constitutionnel que nous savons tous est la solution aux problèmes que nous vivons tous les jours.
By the people in France that the Malian government should step down and be ready to get back into democracy. The funny thing about the protests that happened in Mali was that even the protesters, some of which were sponsored by politicians and part of which were politicians, were actually demanding for the return of Mali to ECOWAS. And a lot of people know how ECOWAS work. If you look at the argument of the Alliance of Sahel heads, they really, really have a strong point. Because the big question is, what has been the job of ECOWAS in quelling the rising terrorism in West Africa? Let's keep it real for West Africa. ECOWAS has not done anything. They have nothing to contribute. And according to what I heard, this manipulation is even happening more among the Fulanis in Mali. Exactly. Exactly. And I know a lot of people would not understand how deep in corruption and terrorism these Fulanis are. Watch this video.
The chairman is wrong. Nigeria will never be one-party state. That's not a democracy. It's wrong to have allowed Atiku to succeed Buhari. It will be one Fulani after the other. As you see, the Fulanis killing people across the country. They want to appropriate the country.
Be careful of the use of words. You generalize.
Allow me to use my words, please.
No, I'm
use
saying
the words. I beg you. You might be very careful.
And there are good people.
I am speaking about national security. This is a national security issue.
Yes.
There is a war on. You want to pretend there's no war. There's a war
pretending. I'm only saying there are
a lot of you journalists are part of the problem. You don't want to address the truth. A war on. Why are you saying you're not pretending? People have been killed everywhere. You're saying there's no war. What do you mean you're not pretending? You are. You are part of the problem in this country. Allow us to speak the truth so that people will know what's going on. People in the Benue cannot go to farm. People in Plateau cannot stay in their house. Those who are responsible for the war simply want to turn Nigeria into a settler colonial entity. And that's what's going on. You don't see that. You're seeing the politics. Forget about the politics. There is a real problem in the country. People are not sleeping at night. Even in daytime, our farmers cannot go to farms. I have food security problems. Why? The Fulani war across West Africa has finally bettered in Nigeria, and you don't want me to talk about it. Who are you afraid of? Who will hear it and we will die? It's the problem the country has gone wrong because a lot of you keep quiet. I'm aware of this. Please, when we have a problem like this serious national security issue, we must speak to it. Pretend it doesn't exist. It does exist.
But according to recent information that we have, there are no longer protests. Like everybody has gone down the radar because they wanted to cause chaos. And you guys realize that the United Nations was championing the campaign for the Malian transitional government to return back the political parties. And from what we heard, they even had a candidate that was already prepared to counter Assimi Goita before they declared him, the ultimate, ruler for a while, until further notice, according to what we heard. A lot of people don't understand the real spirit behind all these things. Assimi Goita has led two successful coups before. Deposed a political government, and he led it as a transition. Then he gave power back to a political democratic government. The corruption went crazy again, and Assimi Goita came back. That was the last coup he had, and it was a successful coup. It was a successful coup because the people were already tired of that government. So it's a big question: why does this politicians want to return to power? Is it really, really democracy in the sense of democracy? But the people of Mali are now telling their leader Assimi Goita that he should not even think of stepping down for any reason. So, which should we listen to? The minority political population or the majority Malian population? So, that's the big question. Recently, the CEO of Telegram has again revealed the true identity of France. That France is really telling them to secretly silence a part of the political class in Romania. It seems as if France always wants to step into different things that is not their business. And I think by the time France is done with this whole chaos that they've created for themselves, I think they are going to lose a lot of respect. And I mean, their influence is just going to continue to diminish. In my own personal opinion, I don't know if France will be able to get the AES ever again, because it's not even about the men that took power, it's about the people of these places that are actually tired of affiliation with France. Ladies and gentlemen, it's your boy 7200 signing out. Enough said, but before I go, you can give us your opinion on this.